Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order, July 18th board meeting. First item of business is roll call. Board Member Evans.
Here.
Board Member Smith.
Here.
Board Member Cooper.
Here.
Board Member Manis.
Here.
And I'm here. Next item is pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll have a moment of silence. Next item is Menifee County School District values, beliefs, and goals. Our vision is we are Menifee, where we ensure every student transitions on a pathway to a successful future in academia, military, or career.
Our mission is empowering future generations to be productive and successful in a global economy through community collaboration, creative thinking, instructional rigor and relevance in order to improve the quality of life for all.
Our values are strong work ethic, reliability, positive focus, determination from staff, parents, students, and the community. Foundation for successful transition for a solid future. Self-worth, everyone is valued. Compassion, parent involvement, attendance, school pride.
Our core beliefs: a good education will pull kids out of poverty and make an impact in our community. Teachers and administrators should passionately teach fundamentals while installing morals and ethics. Every Menifee County student can learn at higher levels. Personalized education to meet the learning needs of students.
Our goals: by 2020, all students will graduate prepared for successful transition into academia, military, or career. By May 2020, we will have 96% student attendance rate. By 2020, all students at the ends of grades K, 3, 5, and 8 will be at or above grade level based on iReady reading and math data, and students at the end of grade 10 will be on or above grade level for reading and math based on mastery track data. By 2020, Menifee County schools will have a 21st century K-8 school facility.
Next item is amend the agenda. Can't talk tonight. Make a motion to amend the agenda to move item A11 to discussion.
I'll second.
All those in favor of amending the agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. I make the motion to adopt the agenda. That change, is that correct? As amended. Go ahead.
I second it.
Have motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Treasury reports, munis balance sheets.
What's your name?
It hasn't changed. The general fund, I think you'll see that we've got a pretty good balance there. We're at we ended the year at 1.65 million in the general fund. That is higher than what I expected. I am working on the AFR, getting all the outstanding payables and all that kind of stuff. We're going to be pretty close to there when you start netting out the accounts receivable and accounts payable. So that's a really healthy balance in our general fund. Special revenue is a negative $287,000, and those are our quarterly reimbursement grants, which are our 21st Century, Gear Up, Striving Readers. Those are the big ones, and then you've got your federal grants that have already been paid back in July. Our district activity, these are our the money that comes up from the schools. It's $45,000. Our capital outlay, we ended the year at $178,000 in there. Our building fund, which is our 5-cent nickel, is $3,800. Our construction fund, this is exciting, guys. $13,823,354.51. So we sold those bonds and received the funding on July 9th. But since we sold the bonds in June, those are our monies at that time. So those were added in there right there. So that was pretty exciting. It's a 0 in your debt service. Now, those numbers include the money that was on our revised BG1 that we spent out of the nickel fund and the capital outlay that's going toward the new school. So those have already been rolled over into that. And then in the food service fund, we have $244,000.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's unit balance sheet.
I second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Monthly financial report.
So if you look at this, it's usually on page 5. You can kind of see where we are. We budgeted right around a little over 10 million without, and that includes the on behalfs. So we actually received 8.4, which is about 400,000 more than what we got, what we received last year. So our receipts are going up. Then on the expenditure side of it, same thing. We budgeted around 10 million. We actually spent 6,853,000, which is it's up about 300,000 from last year. But we've done a lot of fixing and a lot of.
We bought a lot of things.
We have bought a lot of things this year. Yes.
That's still really good though.
And we continue to make sure that we have plenty budget in those maintenance codes before we get the new school.
153,000.
There's no more discussion there. I make the move to accept the monthly financial report.
That's it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Bank reconciliation.
Okay, so if you look at this, you'll see down under the bank accounts, there's all your balance sheets accounts up at the top. Down at the bottom, you have your bank account. There's an adjustment to put in the whole bond amount, which is the $14,180,000. That is the amount that's after the discounts and all that kind of stuff. The actual amount's going in the bank. And then that's the 572 is that flexible spending difference. So at the end of the year, we have a reconciled $15,659,122.33.
And 1.6 in general. That's great.
Yep.
That's really good.
Really approved the year-end bank rec.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Cash flow statement.
So this just kind of shows everything that's going on in the year and what we'll be looking at next year. So we ended the year way more than what we expected. So there you go. I think it speaks for itself.
I'll make a motion to approve cash flow statement.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Chairman, I do want to commend the finance staff and the district finance staff done an outstanding job with all the finances with the district this year. I think if you'll recall, in 2015, we had a balance of $441,000, and now you're up to $1.6 million with all the things that have been purchased, as well as the instructional improvements. I think it speaks very highly of all the principals and all the staff members within the district. So I think it's an accomplishment, and I really appreciate the efforts.
Absolutely. PDSA report.
Okay, I do want to, you see the table is vacant. I've made a beeline from here to, come from Louisville. But our new folks, as well as all of our principals, are in Louisville right now at the Kentucky Association of School Administrators annual meeting. They've been in training sessions. Last night they got out at, I believe, 7:30, and then started back this morning. Some of them did at 7:15, and then we'll finish up tonight at around 7:15 or 8 o'clock, and then we'll finish up tomorrow at around noon. So providing a lot of good quality training that they'll be able to bring back to the staff and students of Menifee County. Going with a PDSA, I don't know what's wrong with my intercom, but we have looked at it, and we have divided. Your PDSAs are going to be a little bit different. Since they're now state assisted, instead of having a variety of PDSAs, and I think there were 7 or 8 different categories, we will be doing 3 for the state assistants, and those were all based off of the management audit. The first one will be government and operations, And there's about 24 items that we'll be working on as far as doing the Plan, Do, Study, Act. And then we'll be developing the 30, 60, 90 at the next board meeting, showing how we're going to accomplish meeting the needs of that original PDSA. But you can read through those, but all those came directly from the management audit. Majority of those have already been completed. And as we go through this process of getting out of state assistance. So the other categories will be instructional management. That will be kind of under the bucket. If you remember that Jody Blackburn is now the director of high quality instruction, and then Robert Brewer is director of high quality teaching. And so that part will be, a lot of that will come out of their core systems that they developed. And then our last one that we'll be working with will be the one of special education. Will come up the division, or not division, but director of personalized learning, which would be Abby McCormick. We do have a corrective action plan for our special needs program, and everything in that corrective is listed in the, what's wrong with this intercom, but is listed in the PDSA. So I do want to commend the staff. They have worked very diligently on getting this PDSA developed. This was developed majority, we utilize a little bit of the services with KDE, but it was developed by the staff here at Menifee County, and do appreciate the work that they've done on that. And we'll be giving you our first 30-day report at the August board meeting. Or I guess the directors will be given that report.
Thank you. The transportation report.
Just want to announce, of course, Mr. McNabb cannot be here this evening, but he has taken over the role of transportation. We currently we do need school bus drivers. So if you know of folks that are looking for extra employment, it's $18 an hour. I think at 4.5 hours a day. Is that correct, Lori? 4 hours per day. So $72 a day. Typically work, like say 4 hours a day from probably 6 to 8, and then probably from 2:30 to 4:30. So if you see folks out there looking to do that, Mike Perry will be our driver trainer. And right now we do have drivers. Of course, if we have to utilize some of our current staff, enough drivers to start the school year. So, but we do have to use some subs in order to accomplish that. So, but we do need school bus drivers. So if you see folks, please let us know. But we'll be getting out bus routes. Mr. McNabb should have a list posted on our Facebook account. Mr. Vice and Ms. Bartley and Ms. Moore, if I'll let you all remind me, but we need to have bus rider list on our Facebook and website before the first day of school. And then we'll tweak those as we need to. So if you all just give a reminder, Mr. McNabb, to have that on the actual Facebook and the school website for those wondering about the bus routes. But they shouldn't change much from what they did last year. Just probably our biggest question, if you have a kid going to kindergarten, you can contact Mr. McNabb and we can make sure that they get on the appropriate bus if you have questions with that.
Consent items.
Okay, just very briefly, I think I went over a lot of these with the members, and you had a time to review those. Last time we did the employment specialist, I'm just going to skip down to 3, moving it from a half-time to a full-time. That money is reimbursed through, it's through like the Carl Perkins Vocational Rehabilitation Act. That money is to help our special needs students receive additional assistance where they can become expiring and promising students throughout their pathways and their transitions to a successful pathway. Lease agreement with Gateway Community Service Organization, that is with our preschool organization where we can continue those programming. Child care, food care program with Gateway, that is part of, that is a requirement that has to be completed with our food service program and Gateway. Bonds, superintendent finance officer has to have a bonds each year. That is just something that's required. Amending the pay scales, Ms. Bartley, that was one additional item, and that was the new grant of Save the Children. We had to include that. We've received, I think, a $54,000 grant from Save the Children, and that we will be hiring a new Save the Children's coordinator. I think that salary, that position is currently posted of $24,000, and then also Save the Children tutor, which is around, I think, $11,000 to $12,000 per year. So if you see folks that are interested in those positions, I'm not talking directly to the board members because you can't get involved with personnel, but for the community out there watching, if you know folks that are interested in those positions, would encourage you to apply. District communication plan, we have changed that just a little bit. Not anything that wouldn't as far as affecting the community, but it's mainly just with the district staff as the way we communicate and with emails and things of that nature. Department of Juvenile Justice, that is just an interagency agreement. That is just a requirement with the students that we have at the group home. The instructional day, this is a tweak from our last meeting, but Botts Elementary and Menifee Elementary will start school from 8 to 3, and then the high school will start at 7:55 and will conclude at 3:05. We did this as part of a safety measure. It would allow our elementary students to be in class and in school but prior to the high school students arriving. And then also in the afternoons, our elementary kids would be already on the bus before the high school students were dismissed, and being able to have it should eliminate some of the traffic coming out of the high school parking lot. So 7:55 to 3:05 for the high school and 8 to 3 for the 2 elementary schools. Bell schedules, the principals have submitted those, and they do meet the instructional minutes, which we're required to go. We go 170 days and 1,062 hours, and probably have some beyond that. I'm not just a little bit sure, but we always kind of keep us a safety blanket there. Emergency certification for gifted teachers. We'll be utilizing the gifted teachers 1 hour per day at each of the schools, and those teachers are going back working on getting their gifted certifications. Substitute handbooks and student code of conduct. Main difference with the student code of conduct is Ms. Pelfrey added a few items in about the no pass, no drive, which just makes sure that we're following. Lost my microphone again. And the other one was just a few of the attendance incentives, but nothing that they're not already familiar with. And then amending roles and responsibilities. We had on the first role and responsibility that you had is we had division director. We removed the word division from those because we wanted to have a united front, and we didn't want to have division enrolled in any of those roles and responsibilities. So we just essentially removed the word division. And then your cell phone policies, which you saw last month, and your district issuance of checks, and then those administrative policies, all those were presented last month. And then the next item is kids to attend a conference in Hardinsburg, which will be an overnight trip, and then the FFA National Convention in Indianapolis, which will be an overnight trip. And then item 22, Mr. Cash, who's always looking for money, always looking for ways to make improvements within the district, but actually had found the Ag Development Fund grant that had been kind of stagnant for at least 4 to 5 years, and is looking at, it was allocated to Menifee County and it just not being utilized. And so we will be trying to match that and trying to assist him in getting that money for his program. No, that's a different project, yes. And then the Boosters Club agreement is required anytime you do a Boosters Club, and then the community education grant is a requirement. So those are your items for your consent agenda items.
I make a motion that we approve the consent.
Can we pull an item out of consent items before we approve them all? The minutes from last month contained the phrase recommend commissioner approve.
Oh, that does need to be pulled out.
And
Well, that was from when we were still technically.
in June.
It was a June, we were not state managed in June anymore.
Oh, that's true, yeah, it was.
And also the finance meetings have the same minutes, the same phrase.
We'll need to change those, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, move to amend your agenda, Greg. Or someone, move it to discussion.
Let's see, which item?
Meeting
Meeting number 1.
Yeah.
I move we approve consent item A1 to B2.
I second it. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that was just an oversight. Apologize. Glad you caught it, though. That was something that was automatically put in the board minutes and just hadn't been removed. So, good catch.
All right, I make the motion to approve the remaining consent items
As amended.
as amended.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Down to discussion items. Approve board minutes.
Well, no.
B1 is
You're out of attendance Thursday first.
The one we moved at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to that.
Out of area,
Request.
attendance request.
I just want to state that those do meet your board policies, and Mrs. Pelfrey has assured me that those are meets all the procedures that we utilize to determine if that is met. So.
Yeah, the attendance committee approved them.
I make a motion to approve out of area attendance request.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. I abstain.
And one abstain. Now, approve board minutes.
And you just need a motion to amend the minutes reflecting that to strike the statement,
Commissioner, the word commissioner.
the word
We
commission.
recommend approve.
Yeah. Yeah, strike the word commission.
I move that we approve board minutes amended as replacing the word commissioner with the word board. And then approve as amended.
I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain because I didn't attend that.
One abstain. Motion carries. Now, we're all caught up. Personnel notifications.
Okay, like the minutes reflect the following. Hiring of Lucas Black, middle school and high school band teacher. Menifee County High School English Language Arts teacher, LaVonda Eaglin. Menifee County Elementary, K-8, Seth Brewer, middle school social studies teacher. Resignations, district-wide, Philip Son, middle school and high school band teacher. Mindy Camp, Menifee County High School English Language Arts teacher, librarian. Jessica Brown, teacher at Botts Elementary, and Abigail Cottle, teacher at Botts Elementary.
You skipped Botts Elementary. New personnel.
Oh, I did, I'm sorry. Also, minutes reflect the hiring of Micah Fruth, elementary teacher, and Christina Shoup, elementary teacher.
Information items, monthly community report.
Okay, have you got that pulled up for me? Just like the minutes reflect of utilizing the Christian Appalachian Project for the donation of classroom furniture and clothing items throughout the community. So had good community support, and I think the backpack program that Miss Means is working on, I think they already have over 75. Her goal was 75, and she's well above that. So very good community support with that, and we're very appreciative of that.
Principal update, instructional support.
Okay, do want to, as far as staffing goes, I think you were 3 weeks away from today for the first day of school. First day of school for students is August the 8th. Our teachers are 2 weeks away. Their first day is August the 1st. We have those planning days already set. Tomorrow, Ms. Moore will be sending a letter out to our certified staff members, going over the training dates. Our first 2 days are teacher planning days, and then we have 2 professional development days, and then we have opening day, and then the students start on August the 8th, which is a Thursday. We currently only have 1 vacant position right now. We have a position at Botts Elementary that is vacant, and would encourage the community to be looking at our Facebook and our website to be looking for back to school events and open houses for the beginning of the school year. Those dates have been set, and I think they may already be on the district webpage, but if not, they will be there very soon. Our principals have done a magnificent job as far as preparing and getting ready for the new school year. They've been working on providing our staff members with the new standards that have been released, and it's a very exciting year. The principals have all been reporting that they feel like that this is going to be the very best year that we've had in Menifee County in a long time. There's a lot of excitement right now with the principals and staff members, and we're very excited to start back the school year.
SPDM minutes. Any discussion on that? School activity financial report. Any questions or discussion? If not, we're down to communication sharing. Anybody have anything?
Let me reflect on a few items. First of all, if you see our custodial staff, Ms. Franklin now is the Director of School Facilities, and as well as a few other titles. But when you walk through the buildings, it's really hard to distinguish this building. I've said this many times. This building was started being built in like 1993, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it is really hard to distinguish the building that was just completed in 2015 and then the other additions that was made. And that's due to a lot of the fact of the work of the custodial staff. And they've also worked very diligently on our school grounds. You look at the front of the board office, you come there, it all looks neat and tidy, and that's exactly what we're planning on doing. Is we want a clean school, and we want a school that's presentable. And do want to thank all the custodial staff, just not the ones here at the high school, but the ones at Botts Elementary, Mrs. Long, Donna Long, and Mr. Larry Lawson, and then also at Menifee Elementary of Eva and, my goodness, Jenny Ross. So I knew if I started mentioning names, I'd forget a few. And then also this year, we've got Randy Beal will serve as lead custodian, and he will be going around to all the schools, ensuring and doing inspections to ensure that we are, up to code and making a presentable facility. And then last but not least, would like to communicate with Jeff Salez, our maintenance director, as well as Tim Sally. Those gentlemen go well above beyond the call of duty. When you start thinking about it's 90 degrees out, it's supposed to be very hot tomorrow, they'll probably be out mowing or working outside doing things to make these schools ready to go for the beginning of the year. One other thing, our bus drivers, they will have a training on August the 5th. That will get the radar updates, and we have a very efficient bus fleet, very good drivers, very good mechanics, and our transportation department, and I think Mr. Hacker had mentioned this to you numerous times, but is one of the most improved transportation departments in the state of Kentucky. And a lot of that is attributed to the work of Mr. Perry and Mr. Willie Brown, and then our bus drivers. Very safe and very efficient. We appreciate those. And also our cooks, so they've worked all summer with the summer feeding program, and I think that's a lot of the reason that you have a $244,000 balance within the food service program. Getting ready to do quite a bit of extensive when the high school students come back on August the 8th. We're keeping our fingers crossed that they will see a vast improvement in the cafeteria with new cafeteria tables and a new aesthetics within that cafeteria. So do want to commend the work of Mrs. Bartley as food service director, and also Kristen Ricker. They've done a fabulous job. I just really can't think, I can sit here all night thinking, folks, but to be 3 weeks away from the first day of school, we could probably, if we had to pull it together, could probably be ready to go next week if we had to. So very complimentary of all those involved. One other item, of course, is our school board. I think you all have pretty much got your trainings completed for the year. I think you all spent last weekend in Lexington. You've still got a few more that may have some training, but to be the middle of July and the vast majority have your trainings out of the way, I think that's very complimentary of you. And I brag on this school board all the time. I think you're all the best around, and you're doing a really good job here. And
we had a nice opportunity to brag on us too. Ralph Alvarado came and said, "Oh, it's such a difficult thing being on school board and things like that." I was like, no, actually, I work with a lot of really nice people at my school board, so I got a chance to uphold y'all.
They really are, and I compliment you all the time. Our teachers, can't stress enough the work that they've been doing this summer. We had, as part of our corrective action plan with special needs, we had a training on the 15th of July in order to meet part of that corrective action plan. It was kind of been planned for about 2 weeks, but to get the vast majority of your teachers in the middle of July and come to a training speaks very highly of them, and just want to let them know how appreciative we are of them. And then once again, all your administrators and all your district staff are currently at KSA. And a couple more items. I would be remiss, I don't know if you all have met my wife or not, but she drove all the way back with me tonight from Louisville. She could have stayed in the motel room and I guess caught up on some sleep, but she decided to ride back with me this evening. I'd like to welcome her. This is my first board meeting as superintendent of Menifee County, and we felt it was important to have support, and I'm glad she's with me. We share a lot of ideals, and she's a good resource for me She's a principal in Fayette County Schools, and we bounce a lot of ideas off one another. So very appreciative of the support and things that she provides to me. So thank you for being here with me tonight. And you all have also probably seen the new school. They are actually moving dirt at the new school now. So if you've not driven by, it's kind of every day it changes. I've not been there since Tuesday, and I'm sure it's probably changed since Tuesday. We have been told that within about a 3 or 4 week period that you should see concrete being poured to where you can actually see the location of the school. We are working on getting a couple of change orders that will allow the completion of the entire school and be ready to go in 2021. So that is our goal, of have that building open in the fall of 2021. And I think that's a very reasonable goal of 2 years to get that building going, assuming that the rain and we have a decent winter to work through. So that is our goal, and a lot of good things happening here.
I brought it up last month about getting something done with the road out here, and I would like to say that everybody's phone calls got the blacktop down, but that wasn't the case. That was already in the works. But we would, if that would have been the case, we'd had school 2 or 3 years ago. But we get everybody acting that way. But I still urge everybody to call Jackson, call your representatives and everything. And while we're going to be in this school for a long time, probably, let's get this road fixed out here while they're doing their activity on 460. Everybody help us out. If we don't have anything else, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.